Hey everyone, this is Mike, and today it's time for White Mage. Overall, White Mage hasn't changed a whole lot, but it is going to feel very different from before, mainly because of the cast time changes that have happened to all of our healers. White Mage used to be the most immobile job in the game, and then in Shadowbringers they introduced the lilies to help alleviate that a little bit. Now in Endwalker, with all the healers' spammable damage spells having a 1.5 second cast time, it means that the movement and off-global cooldown struggles that White Mage had came to an end. It also devalues our lilies a little bit, but if you need a global cooldown heal or an extended period of movement, then they're still going to be good for that. Another impactful change that has happened is that Thin Air has been completely reworked. We went from White Mage having basically no mana management to now having mana struggles. I know that the gameplay in the background might not show those mana issues, but it's also a dungeon and I don't think I used a single GCD heal in there, which those are your more mana intensive spells, and I also have close to, I believe, 1400 piety or something, because I'm just running with the Tombstone and Extreme Trial gear. So while it might not be reflected in the gameplay, it doesn't mean it's not a thing. So Thin Air now has two charges, but only nullify the mana cost of one spell, the next one that you use. So I can agree that Thin Air needed maybe a little bit of a nerf, because it was really strong, either for rezzing multiple people, or if you wanted to spam Cure 3 without destroying your entire mana pool. However, I feel like they nerfed it a bit too hard. Yes, you can always save a stack in case you need to rest someone, but otherwise you would use it when you needed to cast a Medica 2. Or maybe you could even start using it on glares when you've optimized the healing that is needed and you know when you have a free Thin Air stack, because you really want to be using these stacks to try and keep your mana pool alive. One last change to our old skills is that Presence of Mind now has a 2-minute recast timer. It's amazing because that finally lines it up with raid buffs now, but the shorter recast timer means that you'll now be using more mana again, and this adds to those mana issues. However, if you don't care about pulling the biggest numbers possible, then melt some piety and you'll be fine. Don't be afraid of playing White Mage just because you're afraid of running out of mana. So far it hasn't happened to me yet, but then again, I also never really bothered to check how much piety I had while I was playing through the dungeons or whatever else I might have been doing, because I don't really care enough to check. So those are some of the changes that happened to the old skills, but what is new? Glare and Holy both got upgraded versions, Glare and Holy 3. For some reason they skipped number 2, no idea why, but it's basically going to be a damage increase, and they also added new animations to these two spells. Still better to use Glare on 2 targets, Holy becomes a DPS gain starting from 3 targets, and Holy also still stuns, so it's great for dungeons. This is also the reason why I'm okay with Holy having a full 2.5 second cast time. All of the other healers either have instant cast AoEs, when we're talking about Sage and Scholar, and Astrologian has a 1.5 second cast time AoE spell. So Holy having the full 2.5 seconds kinda sucks, because if you want to use off-global cooldowns, which we have more of them now, then you're still going to be clipping into your GCD. Feels kind of bad, but I'm okay with it because Holy stuns and none of the other healers have that. So it's only normal that there is some sort of a trade-off. And the new animation for Holy is also pretty beautiful compared to what we had before. And well, the eye wants something as well from time to time. Divine Benison has been given a second stack, pretty nice change, because now you can always save a stack for a tank buster while not having to sit on the cooldown, and for dungeons, being able to shield twice is just nice for mob packs. Aqua Veil is another good addition. This gives a short damage reduction to one person, so again, amazing to use right before a tank buster or during trash pulls in a dungeon. And then last but not least, we have Liturgy of the Bell, which I think a lot of people just refer to as the Lily Bell. This places a blossom on the field and you are granted a buff with 5 stacks. Each time you take damage, you as the White Mage, not just any teammate, then the flower will use an AoE heal, and this effect can occur up to 5 times because, well, you have 5 stacks. At the end of the duration, the flower will do one last AoE heal, and this heal becomes stronger depending on how many stacks you have left. Just again, amazing ability. It gives us another off-global cooldown heal, which White Mage didn't have that many of, and it's amazing for those multi-hitting AoEs, but it's still great to heal a single AoE with as well. Just put it down right before the cast, it will then heal you right afterwards, and then you just gotta wait a few seconds for the second heal to trigger when its duration runs out. I don't really have anything bad to say about this. Also, with the changes to being able to place ground AoEs by double clicking your buttons, it's made placing this and Asylum a whole lot better as well, so you can easily weave it in without needing to use a macro for it or other third-party tools or whatever other people might have used for them in the past. I guess that another free heal does mean that your lilies are again losing some value, but overall I don't really mind it too much. I haven't done any healing intensive content on White Mage yet, and I'm sure that when you need to actually heal, that your lily heals will still come in quite handy. So overall, I'm really happy with our new White Mage. The cast time changes are a godsend. We've gotten more off-global cooldowns to use, which is something that White Mage was always lacking, so it's really nice to press more buttons, and because of the cast time changes, it's not going to be a struggle to use those off-global cooldowns either. Ground target AoE changes makes placing Asylum and Lilybell a very smooth experience, and that leaves the only negative thing that I can say is that we can sometimes struggle with mana if you're running with low piety. But again, melding more piety fixes this problem. It's just something to take into consideration when gearing up. I've always enjoyed playing White Mage in dungeons, as it has been my go-to dungeon healer for the last 3 years or so, but it still feels great to play in dungeons. All that's left for me is to try out Astrologian, which I have gotten to 90, but I just need some time to play around with it for a little bit, and then we can round out our healers in Endwalker. But that will be for another video. For now, I want to thank you for watching, I want to thank my Patreons for their support, and I'll see you in the next one.